Hey, good evening. Good evening, Bear. Good evening, Bears fans, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Halas Hall Report. A lot going on today. We've got some of the usual crew with us. We got Woody, Bear Down.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, Bear fan Dan is in the house.
Going on.
Samantha. Haven't seen you in a while. Samantha is in the house tonight.
It's gonna snow.
Doing the best I can.
And of course, behind the scenes, working some stuff, we got Mike the Bear fan, and he'll be joining us momentarily. And I guess we can start the show off with some good news in Chicagoland. Happy birthday to Ryan Poles. That about concludes our good news for the day. So it's Poles' birthday today. That's always nice. Birthdays are fun, I guess, until you get to a certain point. Then you kind of like don't wish to celebrate them as much anymore. He's not at that point yet, but he might feel that way with the way the team's performing. And we're just going to get right into it. I'm going to kick this right over to Bear Fan Dan. Bear Fan Dan, bring us the studs and duds, my friend.
All right, we got our segment of. We'll go
All
with,
right. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to me first. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. All right, so my studs for the week. God, Edwards did really well. I'm going to give my stud though in general to the defense for keeping us into a game. I think the defense has been a little underrated. They kept us in the game. The duds is just going to be on the offensive side. We had the first drive was great. The other touchdown drive was great. The rest of the game, it was like, whether it was a play calling, whether it was Fields, whatever, the offense was just putrid for the majority of the game. I think the defense kind of kept us in this one a bit, Dan. That's where I'm at.
All right. Next, we'll go with Samantha.
What am I supposed to say? A stud for the game?
Studs and duds.
Honestly, I thought the whole team sucked, but the suckiest thing was the play calling. But I feel like it was telling that they don't trust Fields. Like all their calls, all their plays sucked, but I feel like maybe they think that's all he can pull off. So my dud's going to be, I guess, the coaching staff in general. And for a stud, sheesh, I feel like, man, I can't even pick a single person, honestly. I don't have one.
Wow.
I'm super disappointed in the team. That's where I stand.
I'm not.
My kids agree, they yell.
I'm in high fucking glory.
All right, we'll go with Woody.
My studs, offensive side, DJ Moore, 102 yards. Defensive side, my boy from Virginia Tech, Jermaine Edmonds, 16 tackles, 8 solo. My dud, well, where do I pick? Can't pick the punter. The rushing game. We have over 100 yards with all our rushers. Pitiful. And the other dud was the play calling. That play call down at the 4-yard line, right in the middle, like that, like Justin Fields did. Well, the thing it says he is a robot. That's what he was saying. He was robotic from the team. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, it's the play calling. That's a dud, and the rushing.
All right, Mike.
I can keep going if you want.
I'm actually 100% with Woody. He said exactly what I was going to say, 100%. But like you said, another dud is play calling. But also another dud is Fields. He's got to get it to the receiver. He's missed a lot of wide open men that he can't see or whatever the issue is. Like, he's got to work that out. He had an okay game, but he's still got to hit those open receivers.
Yeah, we'll get some more into the game. As we do that, let's look at some stats from the game. Pretty telling. I mean, Well,
Jeez.
Hey.
hey, we won the penalty yard fight. Woo! And 3 of those were Braxton Jones, right? You know,
Yikes.
I mean, we'll get into the quarterback situation in a moment, but man, these stats, really, just.
The question is Justin Fields going to throw 2 interceptions per game? I mean, it's ridiculous. He still can't read defenses. That's the big one of the biggest. But I know it's play calling as well. But congrats to Claypool having his first touchdown. That was a fucking nice throw. That was a nice throw, thread the needle. So I'm glad he had his first and only touchdown of the year. But congrats to him.
Well, yeah, the stat line just, and we're gonna get to the quarterback play in a minute. We talked about this Sunday though, it's the play calling, and a few of you have alluded to it. I mean, the play calling. I'll go to Sam first on this. Sam, it seems like to me like the play calling is, I don't know, are they trying? It brings me back to something we're gonna talk about again later. Mitch Trubisky, like year 1, Trubisky did his thing, right? Then year 2, it's like we're gonna make you stand in the pocket and be the prototypical pocket passer. I mean, is that the way you're kind of seeing it?
I see him doing exactly like Trubisky, but I think they're just doing it again. But I think it's because they don't trust him. So that's what they're trying to make him be. That and run the ball yourself.
Yeah, it seemed there were, Dan, there weren't that many, I think, maybe 1 or 2 called run plays for Fields. Everything else.
Yeah, he didn't run much.
Yeah, he didn't run much.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Four
But
carries.
talking about Claypool too, like, yeah, he got that touchdown, but right before that, he almost got intercepted too. Well, he almost caused that interception. Like, he didn't really fight for that ball, in my opinion. So they took that interception back. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I remember the play. When they were looking.
Go
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was saying he didn't go to the ball. He was waiting for the ball to come into him, like Samantha said. Like, he's got to go get the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, I think when we saw the replay too, though, like it didn't show like he was going to the ball, but he did at least defend the ball, so to speak, at that point.
But you're the offense guy. Like, you're on offense for a reason. If you can touch that ball, you're supposed to catch that ball and get the ball. You're not supposed to let the defense guy take it away from you.
I agree with you, Sam. I have to look at the replay again, though. I think he was kind of falling away. He was falling backwards from the ball, and he shot his hand up there and at least got it. But, yeah, you should be going towards the ball, not away from the ball.
Well,
I
another thing about Claypool is he blocked well Sunday.
He blocked really well.
So somebody must have put a fire in his ass, all this media shit that, you can't block, you can't do this, you're lazy. He showed up. But that touchdown pass he had, that was a nice throw, but that should have been intercepted too. To think about it.
Isn't that the frustrating thing? Like, we're talking about reading defenses and everything else, and some of these balls are completed. It's Trubisky, thread the needle, right? We would say the same thing about Trubisky, and he'd thread the needle on a beautiful pass. He'd be like, oh, wow, yeah, you can do this. It seems like we're having the exact same conversation as we had before. And we'll get into that a little bit more as we go on. I don't want to make this all, because we're going to do a whole section on quarterbacks here in a few minutes.
Well, I feel like the play calling, it definitely needs a change, because they said at the beginning they wanted a balanced offense. I don't know if you guys actually counted them up, but they had 29 passes and 16 runs. That's not balanced.
Yeah. That's
and Mike, it's not even just that. It's making the right call at the right time. Like, giving me a run play when it should be a throwing down really doesn't do you any good. And I want to see more of Rashawn Johnson. I want to see the ball in his hands more.
Right. Well, they got to make plays down the field, because obviously they know we're going to run the play about 5 times. And unfortunately, one of them got picked. But, I mean, they're going to read that. They got to open it up more.
I mean, look, the defense kept us in the game. The game didn't get away from us until the fourth quarter, right? So, some credit to the defense. However, now, Williams resigns today. There's We're not going to get into the salacious. Is he leaving because there was a police raid, or is it personal business? There's so many different stories out there. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this right here. He's gone. The rest of it, whatever. So now the question becomes, what are the Bears do from here? Obviously there's going to be a hire at some point. I can't see Eberflus double dutying it for too long. I would think there has to be a hire within the next week or two.
We'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't mind seeing another hire, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did take over the duty, because if you rewind back, Nagy took over for the offense. I mean, it wasn't like a resign or nothing like that, but he was making the play calling, this and that.
I mean, I don't. What do you think? Do you think Eberflus should pull double duty, or hire someone else?
I think we should just call up on Peanut Tillman and say, "Hey, we need you as a fucking defensive coordinator." But no, I don't see Eberflus. I don't know. It depends who's out there. That's the question. Are they going to promote within, or is there defense? There's questions about Mike Tomlin might be getting fired if Pittsburgh keeps playing the way they do. Mike Tomlin, who knows? But I don't see Eberflus doing double duty though for that long.
I don't think he's able to do it.
What was that, Sam?
I don't think that Eberflus can do it. I don't think he's doing a good job what he's doing right now. How's he going to add to his plate? I don't think he can handle it. He better hire somebody.
I think he's on the hot seat anyway.
I think you got to have a defensive coordinator, and unfortunately, Woody, it cannot be Peanut Tillman. He's already employed by the federal government. He's a member of the FBI. So
maybe he needs some. Hey, Mike or Ken, maybe he needs some seasonal part-time duties.
There you go. Dan, what do you think?
Eberflus is for short term, but find someone who said it's got to be within.
You can work.
Eberflus has other issues right now, right? Like here's an issue. You just lost another offensive lineman.
2 starters this year.
And with Braxton, maybe this explains all the penalties. He had 5 flags in the first 2 games. Maybe the injury was the reason why he was doing what he was doing, because compensating. But you've lost 2 of your offensive linemen in an area that you were trying to fix in the offseason. Now, let's be fair. Is there anyone here who doesn't think the offensive line hasn't played better overall this year so far?
The pocket-wise, yeah, because if you look at the pocket for Justin Fields, yes, but I think the run game protection for it needs to be better. The pocket, I thought's been there pretty good. It's just Justin Fields, I feel like he's panicking and wanting to run. You got to sit in the pocket until it collapses. Don't, just run into it. Wait.
Yeah, I think he's had pretty good protection again this year overall. You can always point to that one where a guy comes unabated, no one picked him up kind of thing. The one that happened this last weekend, it was actually the running back's fault, right? Running back kind of released the guy too early, and Justin got smushed. But they've been giving him good protection overall. I think the run blocking is, I don't know if it's much as the blocking or the play calling. The time of calling.
A little bit of both, I think, because obviously they're not doing a lot of run plays.
And and bring up Mike's thing about play calling. I'm losing faith tremendously in Fields. These first 2 weeks, I picked them when I said a 7-10 record. Those were the games I picked them to win.
Yeah, same
so
here.
Where can they make up those 2 games? I say tank, and we'll get 3 first-round picks. Who agrees?
Well, Woody, here's how we start. Hey, guess what? We just cut a quarterback.
Again. At least the second time this year.
Just cut a quarterback.
I think it's early to say tank, but because I still want to win because I'm going to all the freaking games at home. But do I think we're going to win? No. I think we're probably going to be dead last in our division, unfortunately.
Minnesota's pretty bad too. So
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I still think they'll probably beat us. They'll find a way. Look at what we're dealing with. It's like a freaking dumpster fire.
Sam, you said that you want to go to the games for the win. When was the last good season that they had that they were winning?
before her tickets.
Whatever.
The double
We
doink
found
year.
the
That's right.
answer.
The double doink year.
I was there at that game.
Yeah.
I was right
paid off.
behind that goalpost.
Yeah, Mike makes a good point here, right? Offense is doing good, not great. Ranked 5th against Green Bay in length of time. Did better against Tampa. Look, we're in games. We're not getting blown out. The score of the Green Bay game got away at the end. The score of at the end it got away. But for the most part, we've been in these first two games, and then the wheels fall off for whatever reason. If we can just stop the wheels from falling off that one stupid play, because for this last week, the stupid play was that screen pass on the 4-yard line. Then the game got away. Right? Up until that point, we were in it. I mean, we were within a score. So I don't know if we're dumpster firing yet, but then we get into this little nugget. Some guys, even Sunday, were already calling for Badgett, and here it comes out, hey, other teams wanted this kid, but he wanted to come to Chicago. I mean, the kid showed well in preseason. At what point, and I'll go to Sam on this first, at what point do you say, you know what, forget Fields, bring in Tyson Badgett? At what point do you bring in the kid?
I'll say
For some reason.
I'll say week 8 or 9. Like I said, the Fields thing to see, because he's just doing terrible. So I say week 8 or 9. If Fields ain't doing shit like he's doing now, I put the kid in, see how he does. That will tell.
Dan, how about you?
That'll. Oh, okay. I wasn't done, but let's go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go back. I'll go back to Woody.
I said
finish that thought, Woody.
If the kid shows up and plays good, that'll save us a draft. Maybe we have to draft a quarterback in the draft next year, but that's not our top priority. If he does good and he can run this.
Okay. How about you, Dan?
Mid-season, but what if we're getting, let's say, on Sunday, we're getting blown out? Why not put the kid in the fourth quarter and see what he can do?
Yeah, I'm
Then
actually
again against the Chiefs.
doing that.
Then against the Chiefs,
I can see her doing that.
But game time, I guess game time is game time. Sam, how about you? Sam,
I would agree. If we're getting blown out, give him a shot. Why not? And I am not opposed to trying him out towards the end of the season. I've been saying since last season, I feel like I haven't seen enough development with Fields. I feel I don't have any faith in him. Honestly, I think he's part of the problem, and I think that everybody wants to have a feel-good story about him being how he's gonna be great. But I just don't think that anybody trusts him, to be honest.
Mike, it seems like in Fields we trust, maybe no more. What about you? Get off mute. You're muted.
Week 10, I think week 10 or in between 10 and 12, depending on the record. We've lost 12 straight regular season games. No one's saying
13.
much about that. 12.
13 after this week, pal.
I'm not counting it. Every dog has its day. But if we lose 8 out of those 12, I think you bring the kid in. I don't know if they'll bring him into the Chief game, like you said, maybe on a blowout or something, and Fields is getting rocked or something, maybe. But I don't see him pulling him out of the game unless it's like a major injury or something.
So for me, it's tough because I think the play calling's been absolute shit. And I think we've gotten away from what made Fields dynamic last year when he was putting up points. And, we've seen him thread the needle. We've seen him make some great throws. At the same time, we've all seen him with people who are obviously wide open by NFL or any other standards, and he just tucks the ball and doesn't do anything and takes a sack or otherwise. I don't know. I guess week 8 or 9, if it isn't a bad point. But I want to bring this up. I saw this right after the game Sunday, and I was like, you know what? Look at these numbers, guys. The 27 career starts. Heck, Trubisky, who everyone in Chicago hated for whatever reason, better passer rating, less turnovers. On total yards, they're pretty close. He's got a better completion percentage. He turned the ball over less. We've said the same things. Oh, Biscuit can't read a defense. Oh, Biscuit can't throw the rock. Jesus, I think the same things we're saying about Justin Fields, who was the next savior that we all lauded when the draft pick happened. I think the problem there is this. When we drafted Fields, he came out of Ohio State, nationally ranked team, big-time school, big-time quarterback, so drafting him was okay. But when we drafted Trubisky, who played what? One season at North Carolina basketball school, holy shit, are we stupid? Yet, the numbers don't lie. So I guess the question we need to ask ourselves is why do we buy into this hype? Because really, Trubisky has better numbers overall than Fields.
But people would go back and forth on liking Trubisky too, because he would have his moments where he'd have this great game. I think there was a game I was at. What did he have? Like 5 touchdown receptions
against Tampa.
Yeah, I was at that game, and everybody's like, "Yes, he's the best." And then what is he going to do the next game? Like 3 interceptions. And I think Fields is like right along that path where he has the potential, but he's not learning or growing or developing at whatever pace that everyone else in the NFL can do it. Like all the rest of the quarterbacks have learned and grown and developed that play for other teams. Why are we still looking at this guy going, oh, he just needs time, when everybody else, is able to do it faster? That's the problem.
See, the thing about
what Justin Fields said today, though, is the coaching. Because we look at Trubisky the year we won the division with him, right? And no one said shit. No one said he couldn't read a defense. No one said he couldn't move the ball. And then the next 2 years where and the Bears sucked, every time there was a 2-minute drill and Trubisky was the one in charge of making the play calls, what happened? He moved the team downfield and put them in his position to kick a game-time field goal or a game-winning field goal, or gave us an opportunity to win that game. I have to say, I kind of agree with some what came out about Fields Day. What about the coaching in Chicago in general?
Yeah, I think just like Adrian just said there too, I think we force people to be things that they're not in Chicago. And I think a lot of great players come here to die, unfortunately. And then if we cut them loose, they go somewhere else and they'll be effective again. And that's just kind of the way it goes, because I think we do have a problem with trying to make people be a system that we fall in love with some system or some plan instead of looking at the people we have and using their strengths.
The difference that I think about Fields and Trubisky was very mobile quarterback until he got injured his shoulder. Then he just started taking a shit. So, but Fields, not injured, very mobile quarterback. Right now, I take Trubisky over Justin Fields. He's a backup. Go get him. Get him back here. At least he can be a third backup or maybe number 2. But that's the difference, I think. That's what I think the difference is between Fields and Trubisky, is because Trubisky got injured.
I mean, Dan, is there maybe a train of thought that maybe the problem in Chicago isn't the quarterbacks we draft, but the people we pay to coach them?
Yeah. Very well could be, look at it being coaching.
I mean, Nagy was supposed to be the quarterback whisperer.
Right.
And all we saw was shitty play calling. So, I mean, I don't know. I just found that was interesting how everyone pissed all over Trubisky when he was here. But we all love Justin. But really, we maybe should have never gotten rid of Trubisky to begin with.
Well, really, honestly, look at what he's done now. Since he left a Bear, what has he done?
Well, I mean, that's just it. He was a backup for Allen.
True. He hasn't done much.
Then he went to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh pulled pulled the plug on him in 2.2 seconds. So he got like what 2 or 3 games last year, and then they went to the first round pick. And the problem with this league is if you draft a quarterback in the first round, you got to play him almost right away. Unfortunately, I think we ruined Trubisky. We ruined Grossman, whatever he would have been. We ruined in 2006. We ruined quarterbacks in this league.
Just like, hey, I feel like we're just like the Tennessee Titans. That's where they go to ruin the wide receiver's career. We're here to hurt the quarterbacks.
The curse has got to end sometime. Just saying. It's been a long time. Century?
Hey.
Well, this team obviously has some early adversity now with the OC or the DC resigning, early injuries on the O-line, but we can't be making these excuses anymore. I mean, these are the same things that the 5 of us have been talking about for 5 freaking years now. Oh, the O-line. Oh, the play calling. When are we at? We've made changes wholesale, have we not? We've changed the coaches. We've changed the players. What is the problem with our team?
The thing is too is that the offense and stuff like that, our defense is on the field for over half the game. I don't care what defense you are, you're gonna start giving up points if your defense is on the field for that long. So we gotta start getting these long drives, getting scoring in the red zone. That's a biggie, and give our defense a break. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Hey, I got to head out, but I just wanted to stop in as long as I could. Good to see you guys.
Good to see
Have a
you.
good
See
one.
you, Sam.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, fellas. I mean, look, it's only 2 games, and we've been in the games for the most part, and then the wheels have fallen off towards the end. I don't think any of us expected us to win 13 games this year, right? Could we still win 7? Yeah. Could we still be that team at the end of the year that teams don't want to play? Well, yeah. Look at the Lions last year. How the Lions start last year? Terrible. And then they were a beast in the second half.
Yeah, they went 8-2.
So that could still be in the cards for us. And I just think that a couple things are interesting, like the Trubisky, Fields. You have no choice but to compare them at this point, right? The last 2 quarterbacks. I think our coaching has just been. When will we ever finally get that coach on the offensive side of the ball who can effectively coach quarterback and design an offense that goes to their skills? Why is it that other cities get coaches that coach their players' strengths, but in Chicago, you must be in the pocket and be a statue?
To answer your question, Ken, is that we need a coach that's a head coach. Coordinators should stay coordinators, like Nagy.
But you don't change what's working. Last year, we were pretty much the number 1 rusher in the league. Why are you stepping away from that?
Well, you take that 1,000 yards that Fields had away.
It's still up there and still like 4.5 yards a carry.
Well, I'm just saying is that the coordinators got like I said, Nagy was a head coach, sucked. Look at him at Kansas City, super. He should stay a coordinator. We need a coach that is a head coach, not a coordinator.
Well, the problem is, though, they're all coordinators and then become head coaches. So you got to get the right coordinator who's ready to make the right jump, I guess, is the way of saying it. And, I mean, it's like watching Matt Nagy all over again with Eberflus with the way they're treating Fields this season. Why don't we have him roll out of the pocket to throw the ball either? Like, we are so, you must be in the pocket. This offense is like, you must be in the pocket. And look, yeah, I mean, Good question, Mike. Does anyone doubt if Fields hits the wide open receivers, he'll stop playing zone over 90% of the game? And you know what? He's got a good point. And then, like, what's another way to break down the zone? Have him roll right. Have him roll left and make completions. We don't do that either. Every time he throws a ball, stand in the pocket. I don't know. Well, here's a good question. Mike's asking some good questions here.
Well, how can we rebuild? The answer to that is that we can't rebuild the offensive line because of all the injuries we have. Now we're down 3 offensive linemen against the Chiefs. We're in fucking trouble Sunday, and I don't care. Somebody fight me, please. We're in trouble. Down 3 offensive linemen going against the Super Bowl champions with Chris Jones back and Kelsey. So our defense, again, is going to be on the field a lot more than the offense on Sunday.
Rick, I love this comment. And okay, yeah, I get it. He'll run. But if he's got an open receiver, maybe he'll pass. I don't know. At least it's better than what's going on right now. I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't know if Rick Mott actually watches all the games like we do. I know he's a Packer fan and everything, but last week there was a lot of open receivers and Fields just didn't see it. It was literally like he was dropping back to pass, and if he was looking right, he wasn't looking anywhere but right.
I've seen it, man.
Rick Mott, I've been reading his comments, and he's right on a lot of comments. Even though he doesn't watch the games like we do, the Bears games.
But say it a little more respectful.
Oh, well.
I mean,
hey, I'm trying to be respectful too, but I just, like I said, I picked them to go 7-10. These first 2 games, I picked them to win in the beginning of the year. So where can we make these 2 games up at to make them 7-10? No, I don't know.
I mean, it's tough. We're on an epic losing streak here. We haven't seen what we thought we'd see this year. I mean, I think defensively we've seen a little bit of it. They are better. We're still not getting pressure. Look at all this talk about offense. Let's talk defense for a minute. We signed Yannick. We make some signings on edge. We draft interior. How many sacks did we get last week? 1?
I think so. But the defensive line is still struggleish. Like, our linebackers are stout. Like, they're all over the field and they're making all the plays. Like,
we had no sacks last week. None.
We got to have a defensive front that does something. They showed a little flash here and there, but they ran a lot. You know what I mean? So obviously you're going to stuff some runs.
But I mean, we're not stopping the run consistently. We're not getting pressure on the quarterback.
How many throws
we see? How many throws we see? Look at, it's 3rd and 18. Sweet. Oh, when I see 3rd and 18, I go, oh, fuck, here we go. Because they convert every freaking time. Because, dude, I could throw my 2 wide receivers out there. Look, I could throw I could be the quarterback for whatever team the Bears are playing. And I could throw the 3 of you out there as wide receivers and tell you all to go 20 yards downfield, and I guarantee you one of you will be open, and I'll convert the first down, knowing I can barely throw the ball 20 yards, and that's the way this Bears defense is playing right now.
That's the only complaint I have about defense is that soft goddamn coverage there, especially on 3rd downs, and that's why they had so many 3rd and 15s. We have our defense in there getting these yards lost, and then you go down and get a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 18 and stuff like that. That soft coverage has got to go too.
It's got to go. And Rick, you're right. I love Roshan. I think everyone on this panel loves Roshan. Mm-hmm. I think we'd all like to see Roshan get the ball more.
I think Wright's been playing pretty well overall as well.
Stevenson's been okay.
Yeah.
He still hits like a Mack truck. I mean, I love the way the kid hits.
I mean,
it's like what he said, though. From the linebacking core back, we're making good tackles. We're being stout. But Dan, I mean, when we get to the D line, do you see anything? Are
Nope.
or am I missing something?
No.
I mean, Dexter, he had a good game, I think. It's like I said, it was all over. I was ready to put a hole in the TV. The referees again, and I don't want to make excuses up, but that was a push off that Mike Evans had, and that was a big play. But it seems like there's a cloud over Soldier Field or the Chicago Bears. Anywhere they play, they get shit on or anything like that. So I'm just fucking pissed. I'm sorry.
I mean, fellas, I mean, I don't know. Oh, geez.
Let's see if
I
we
don't
have
know.
anything serious.
I mean, look, we know this is a 2-year process, right? Woody, I agree with you. I think everyone on this panel had us winning at least one of the first two, if not the first two. At the same time, shit happens any given Sunday. We haven't played well the first 2 weeks. We haven't been absolutely terrible either. We've had our moments, but I just want to see better consistency, better play calling. And I think on the field, the players we've brought in have been performing, but I think we're asking too much of them too fast in some regards. Oh my God. And everyone here is Darcy.
Uh-oh.
How you doing tonight, Darcy?
Hey, Darcy.
Hey, good. How's everybody doing with the
We're 0-2, Darcy.
No, I didn't expect that. I actually picked you guys to be second right behind the Detroit Lions. And
No.
guys, don't put your head in the sand just yet. It's a long season. Maybe this is, the inmates are running the freaking,
Darcy, since we have you on, what are the keys of winning against Kansas City since you guys beat them on week 1?
No Travis, no Kelsey.
or Chris Jones.
What are the keys? For you guys or for us? Because
you guys beat them already.
I know, but we're two totally different teams. My quarterback throws to receivers that are open. Yours quarterback just stares at him and doesn't even throw the fucking ball.
Oh, he does the check down, Darcy. Rewind back.
Yeah, the check down was on the screen pass in the middle down at our own 4-yard line.
Right. I didn't watch your game. I'm sorry.
Oh, I could tell you the whole game. There'd be a lot of fucks in there.
Just say we threw 29 times, but right.
Okay. So
Darcy brings up a great point and something I alluded to earlier. Darcy, what did you guys start your season at last year?
1-6.
Yep.
Last year? Yeah, we started
1-6.
1-6. Yeah, absolutely. It comes down to coaching. And sorry, I did watch 3/4 of the Green Bay and Chicago game, and I was rooting for you. Maybe I'm sorry I jinxed you. Sorry, because that's the rumor in the chats and the groups. If I root for your team, you always lose. So, but I was high.
Chiefs. Root for the Chiefs.
Like it saddens me to hear like the monsters of the Midway, the freaking best defensive team in the NFC North history and everything like that. Oh, the linebackers, your refrigerator Perry, all you guys. Like, it just sucks to see something like this happen. I don't know what the latest rumors are. We're in a chat and I hear it's like maybe kind of FBI. I don't know, Dan.
Oh,
Dan,
no, you're talking.
It's coming a long way, Darcy. I mean, we have at least one. You brought up Perry, so I mean, at least we could say 85. We don't say it much. It's usually the other fan base, but your case is empty.
Well, that's
I thought we were having a show.
That's why I have a feeling about like the Bears of old, like 2000s, whatever, like that. Defense wins championships.
Exactly.
Not no more. You need an offense, Rex Grossman.
Just 5 years ago, you had the best defense. You had 8 scoring touchdowns. You missed on a double doink. That was your opportunity right there, and that was the old Bears way of doing it.
Well, we didn't just
Right.
have
Darcy,
defense either. We
Dar-
had a guy named Hester, which they took the kicking game out pretty much for
Right.
the most part.
I got a clip.
Darcy, the double doink. Don't you?
I got a clip from a former player that comes on my show, Anthony Cannon, talking about Devin. Oh, guess what? Mike was producing it.
Hey, so
Darcy, I want to bring up
this is what you're
that double.
talking about.
That
This is the one thing you're talking about, Darcy, and it's an Alan Williams thing. He resigned today. There's rumors out there that Peanut Tillman, who now works for the FBI, was the one who told the Bears you're going to be raided. Then the Bears come out today and say, well, the police never came by Halas Hall, and he said, well, I'm resigning for family. Whatever the circumstances are, to be honest with you, I don't care. He's gone, right? Now the task becomes find a new defensive coordinator and move on. The reason why he left, I don't really care anymore. It's just he's gone. Now we just got to move on, right? I mean,
Okay, Ken. Do you remember what changed us around last year? We fired Andre Pleasant, and guess what happened? We won the last fucking 8 out of 10. Sometimes that works.
But see, Darcy, I'm hearing all over the place that, that game last week is that all I'm hearing is firing Aaron Glenn. Now, do you agree with that?
Okay, I was there. My wife got to shake Calvin Johnson's hand and get him, whatever. She said,
was it after he spiked the ball? When you spike the ball, you have to keep the ball in hand.
Anyways, to answer your question, what was the question again? This is a Bear show, isn't it?
This is the Bear show. Yes.
So okay, A-Dub's in the house. A-Dub, what are your thoughts on the season so far?
He's frozen.
No, he takes a second. He's got a delay.
AOL. Dial up.
Are you with us, A-Dub?
Yeah, feels like the connection keeps going in.
Wow, that's like 20 seconds here. Oh, there you are.
Well, I'm here, but yeah, I'm right here. And to answer your question about the season so far, I could say it's a complete meh. Like, it's not all that great, but it's not that bad either. There are plenty of things you could like about what's going on with Green Bay, but not everything is as great as you want it to be.
You know what I think, A-Dub? I don't think the NFC North is that good at all, talent-wise. Like you look at the Detroit Lions, and all the stats were last at defense. We suck again.
A-Dub, for those who don't know, is a Packers fan, and Jason, you're a Packers fan too, correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So we got a couple Packer fans on here. Good to somewhat see you in the dark background there. Look at the NFC North. We all lost last week.
We all sucked.
I think no. You know what? I think the Lions played a tough game. That was a great game they played. For the Packers, to be honest with you, they're going to have a season like this because week one was a lot of excitement, and I actually thought Green Bay should have beaten Atlanta coming into this week, having watched Atlanta barely beat Carolina in week one. I thought this was a game that Green Bay should win, probably needed to win. But you know what, though? I think Packer fans are learning about life without a Hall of Fame quarterback, and this is part of that process.
See, this is where I disagree with a lot of other Packer fans because I think they're freaking morons. The majority of the idiot are Packer fans that they sit there and they get on this train and they get on this thing. They hated Love too. When he was drafted, everybody hated Love. I loved Love ever since the day that we drafted him. I loved him because I watched the kid in college. I know that the kid could play. So I knew he wasn't NFL ready when he came here, right? And this is my, and everybody keeps arguing. I just feel that this game, I heard you guys talking earlier in the show about these injuries, and we lost another offensive lineman and shit and on and on and on and all this other crap, right? I hear it all. The Packers were without, well, you can't really say we're without our starter all-pro because he hasn't played 2.5 years, and Bakhtiari, he's freaking just, they should have got rid of him when they got rid of that asshole quarterback. So my next thing is we lose Elgin Jenkins. All-pro. Now, he's actually an all-pro and actually has been playing. That's actually a big loss, right? He's a huge loss to us. And then we lost we lost another guy. Van Esk went out for half the game at halftime. He left the game at halftime. And then we were without Christian Watson. And we lost by 1, you know? I mean, all these people are expecting Jordan Love to be this god, you know, this great quarterback. And there's going to be growing pains with a new quarterback. Aaron Rodgers only won 6 games his first year. Maybe it was less. I think it was 6 games. I don't remember. I think it was only 6 games.
Yeah, it was 6. It was 6.
So, I mean, and everybody thinks that going to a new quarterback, I couldn't even be more than happier what Jordan Love is putting on the table right now. Because there's teams like the Bears that wished they had a quarterback like Jordan Love behind center right now.
Absolutely. No, I disagree with that.
Sit there and can complain all you want, but you know damn well you wish you had a guy like Jordan Love right now.
I wish I had Justin Fields.
Is not the guy, and I don't know.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
No,
he just doesn't have the right coaches around him.
Look at Jason. I'll say right now, I do not wish I had Love. Look, I agree with a lot of what you said. When the Packers drafted Love, I thought it was a smart pickup for them. I thought it was a good look to the future. You know, if you look what they've done in the past, it was following that line. It was a good look for the future. Would I say, oh my God, I wish I had Jordan Love right now? No, I don't. Because Jordan Love still has to show me. And he hasn't done that. He's playing decently. He's playing well. Is he playing much better than Fields? Debatable.
Dude, come on. Seriously, you cannot be serious right now.
He's playing better.
But the thing,
dude, Jordan Love has more touchdowns.
Ken, I get you. Justin Fields is a better quarterback.
The bigger piece of that is it comes down to win losses, and his losing against a team he should have beaten this week kind of exposes. Look, week 1 was easy for him to get up towards the Bears. It's when they're not playing the Bears is when you have to see what Jordan Love is. And right now he's what I kind of expected him to be, a pretty good quarterback. Who's not a Hall of Fame quarterback? Who's not an AR-12? He's not a.
Now you're talking like the other moron Packer fans that I can't just.
Okay. I got a scenario for you guys. Blow me up here, Michael. I got a scenario for you. If you switched Jordan Love to the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields to the Packers, what? I guarantee you Justin Fields would be the better quarterback. Guaranteed it.
Because why do you think, Neville? Why do you think
he's right? Because it's the real. Address me as the real deal, please.
My bad.
Listen, I wouldn't punish anybody, any quarterback, to get behind the Bears' offensive line right now. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. Behind that
Packers are a better organization right now. Just right now. They're a better organization right now.
Ken, how can you sit there and say that Jordan Love that they're comparable? Jordan Love has started his whole career, and Justin Fields has started 25.
Put Justin Fields on the Packers. Championships.
Jason, this is where you need to be on. Jason, this is where you need to listen. I'm not comparing him to. He's not them yet. That's what I'm saying. He's not them. There are some Packer fans who have Jordan Love as being the next Messiah, the next, Rodgers or Favre. He's not that yet. He is what I expected him to be right now. A decent quarterback who's going to go through growing pains as he learns about being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Excuse me.
The thing about it is that Justin Fields
and hold on, Jason. And he's going to have some really good games, and he's going to have some really terrible games as he's going through this process. For him to come in with the Chicago game as a team you're very familiar with, he knows the history of. We didn't play that. We played. Look at the first half. He did nothing. Really, he did nothing. The second half, That was all your running back. He took that game over. He destroyed it. But some Packer fans, the ones you'd probably call idiots, came out and like, oh, Jordan Love, he's the reason we killed the Bears. No, your running back was.
Oh, you said Aaron Jones was the reason why we won that game. Did he do great in the second half? Yes.
Yeah.
On that screen pass, who threw that to him? Was that Christian Watson?
See, now you're talking like idiot Packer fans who don't know football, because the reason he's able to make that pass is because of everything else Aaron Jones had already done. That set the table. It's cause and effect, right? We have yet to see, and you haven't seen this yet. None of us have seen this yet, where Jordan Love takes a game over. The table is being set by other players. And you know what though? But Jason, hold on. I don't need, and you don't need, as a Packers fan right now, you don't need him to take games over. You just need him to do something that we're not seeing from our quarterback. You need to see him progress. That's all you need to see right now to be a happy camper.
From what I've seen from the first year he got here playing in preseason games to where he is now, there is a shitload of progression in those last 3 years that you've seen him. And he's only started 3 games in his whole career. Justin Fields has started, 27 games? And there is no progression there, buddy. Seriously. Stop. Take the blunders off.
Now you're talking like well, hold on, I'll give you his official theme music here in a second. Hold on.
Oh God.
Well, you're
and I'm not sitting here trying to talk up Jordan Love like he's the second coming of Christ. That's not what I'm doing here.
But your offensive play calling is more balanced. Right now, the Bears is heavy towards Justin Fields on way more passing than running. We were a number one running.
And there has been progression with Justin Fields.
Fail to realize Luke Getsy was our offensive coordinator 2 years ago.
Exactly.
And there has been progression.
The guy that was calling plays for you right now was our offense. Was calling plays for us.
Hey, Jason, let us speak some. All right, after you yell out your comment. I mean, there's been progression with Fields, not across the board like we like. There's been some. The numbers do show that. Yes, Luke Getsy used to call for you, but let's be honest. Who really made the calls in Green Bay?
Not Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
oh, no, Aaron Rodgers.
Whole quarterback that we finally got rid of. You heard what they said. They said they fucking...
Yeah, because...
I don't even want to get into Aaron Rodgers. I wanted that fucker gone 3 years ago.
Actually, you know what, though? Let's talk about this real quick. We have to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I got 2 Packer fans here. And let me go. I'll go to A-Dub first because I know he's got the delay this way. I make sure we get his answer. A-Dub, how pissed off are you that you are now not getting a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers because of that injury?
Not really pissed off at all because Green Bay's normally had their case to where they've hit very often on second-round picks. So a first-round pick would have been nice for us to where we would have had to, but even while we may get a second rounder for Rodgers, I'm fine with it. Like Green Bay's hit normally on second rounders all the time, so I can't be too pissed off about it. That's just where I would be pissed off. If Green Bay misses on the second rounder we get for Rodgers, only then would I feel upset.
Hey Dub, I would agree with A-Dub, I would agree with you any other time, but the last couple of years we've been hitting on our first rounders also, but this is my point of view. At first, I was kind of crabby, right? I was kind of crabby at first when he went down. I'm like, fuck, we're not going to get a first rounder now. But I'm like thinking to myself for a second after, I kind of thought about it and let it, situate and percolate for a minute. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of happy now. Because people say, well, why would you be happy? Because let's think about it. If Aaron Rodgers plays on that Jets team, that they're in the playoffs. They're probably going maybe, I don't know, AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. I mean, that's not unheard of, right? I mean, the Dolphins and a couple other guys that are right there, but that Jets defense and offensive line and stuff that offensive line ain't good, but their defense and their offensive weapons are pretty damn good. That means it's probably going to be a low first rounder. Well, this now I thought about for a second. I'm like, well, what am I thinking about now with Zach Wilson at the helm, right? It's going to be probably a high second round pick. So you're talking of maybe 12 to 13 picks difference between the two of being a low first rounder and a high second rounder. And I'm thinking that high second rounder, there was a lot of good players getting picked in that top 10 of the second round lately, as of late. So I'm thinking I'm more happy that without the first rounder than I am to get this, because not only you save money by not having the 5th-year option, it's only a 4-year contract. So it actually helps you save money in the long run without having that first round deal and having a couple first rounders next year. So I'm actually kind of happy about it after a while, after I sat and thought about it for a minute.
Hey, Rick. It's too much. It's too much to think about what you just said. I would have just kept Aaron Rodgers, right?
Fuck that cocksucker. I was so sick of him, and I was so irate last year when they didn't trade him to Denver to get the haul that they could have got from Denver. I'm like, oh my God, I was so pissed. And then they fucking kept him and restructured. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I was so pissed.
Well,
so mad.
So the Jets are 1-1 right now. They could still be a playoff team, and you could make Zach Wilson's a better quarterback just for having Rodgers in the room. So Jason,
but I don't think he's in the room right now. He's out healing, so he's not even in there helping them right now.
They're talking. These guys talk. They're talking. I mean, I think he's still getting some mentoring from Rodgers, and he's going to be around the facility rehabbing. And in other words, I mean, they were pretty close to being a playoff team last year without.
Well, that's why
Rodgers.
I said the top 10 in the second round, because I'm giving them a little bit of leeway. I'm not saying like they're going to get the freaking top 2 picks that be up there. Top 10 puts them at about six wins, maybe 7 wins. Probably puts.
I think you're selling them very short. I think that Jets team is in the playoff hunt, even without Rodgers. They're in the playoff hunt last year without Rodgers, and they've added other pieces besides Rodgers. They have the same quarterback.
That's the thing. That's what I think about. That's why I love what Green Bay did with Aaron Rodgers and with Love. That, yes, people say that the Packers had a luxury to draft a quarterback and let them sit behind these guys. That's a luxury that some teams don't always have, right? They don't have that option. The Bears don't have that option. They did. They went and signed Mike Glennon for a long time. Now, was Mike Glennon a huge, great quarterback? No. But I think Mitchell Trubisky would have been good had he sat a year and just sat and watched the speed of the game. And this is where I defend a Christian Ponder also. I think when the year that they drafted Ponder, they brought in Donovan McNabb. If people fail to realize that Don McNabb gave the Vikings, I think it was a 20-0, and then like a 10 and a 13-0 lead in their first fucking 3 games that season. And then the defense turned on, they lost all 3 of those games. That's not on Don McNabb's fault. So then the people want Ponder, so they rush in Ponder. I think Ponder had a shitload of talent. I think Ryan Leaf had a shitload of talent, but the state of fucking California, the city of San Diego put the world on his shoulders. I think these teams nowadays, these quarterbacks nowadays, they can't handle coming in and starting from week 1. Only very few rookie quarterbacks can come in and make a difference for your team. And I think these guys need to sit.
Let's analyze that, because I think you're right. Because, like I said, I love what the Packers did with how they got Love. Let's look at another young quarterback who's having a lot of success. A certain kid who's won 2 Super Bowls in Kansas City. Did he start his rookie year?
He sat his first year.
Joe Burrow.
Okay, let's look at another. Let's look at a couple of these other ones. I mean, the good ones. Josh Allen, did he start his rookie year? No. He sat.
Did he sit a year? Who was there?
It was the other great hope they had. I don't even know where the guy's in the league anymore, but he didn't start from day one. I think the problem in the NFL is this now. If you draft a quarterback in the first round, you almost have to play him right away. The Packers, in a way, like I said, they did it right with the way they got Love. Now, whether Love pans out or not, well, we'll have to wait and see how this season goes, right? I mean, so we'll see how that goes. But the argument's at least to be made that the Packers were able to do it the right way. With Fields, I think what the plan wasn't to play Fields the first year, right? That's why we had Andy Dalton. But oh my God, after week 5 or 6, rush him in there and make him the quarterback. Trubisky, same way. The plan was, as you said, we had the neck. The idea was for him to sit behind the neck for a year. After 4 or 5 games, John Fox, nope, run the kid in there.
They start listening to the fans and the media and shit. They can't do that shit, man. They got to stay strong with what Andy Reid stayed strong. Everybody said they wanted, no, he's sitting. He ain't fucking starting no matter what. I don't give a shit what people say. You got to have some fucking, as a coach and a team, GM, you got to have some goddamn balls. You got to have some fucking balls and go with the plan that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to.
And Mike has a good comment here. You know, I mean, I agree too in a way we rushed Fields too soon, just like we rushed Trubisky too soon. And they both, and look at Trubisky and Fields, both have had, as starting quarterbacks in Chicago, had some limited successes. But they've
Justin
also
Fields
had
can run the football. And that's why rush him in.
They've also
Because,
had,
if he gets in trouble, they'll just run the ball and he'll
look at now, Jason, though, I mean, don't fall into that Packer trap. Oh, he's just a running back. He has thrown some beautiful balls. The ball he threw to Claypool was a beautiful ball. Trubisky had some beautiful balls he threw too. The problem is whatever we were teaching in Chicago about reading offenses or reading defenses isn't translating with these quarterbacks. Go ahead, A-Dub. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, my perspective is if you're going to start anybody, if you would start anybody right away, I think it depends on the situation. Like, that's where I stand with when you start Fields. Look at the team first as far as what you got built around a veteran first, and if it does work accordingly, then you would start Fields.
But we
Just
never
like
had
other teams.
We never had a quarterback for him to sit around or sit behind, sit on the bench. We had nobody.
You know, Woody, I don't know if it's about learning from the quarterback that's behind it. I don't know if it's really about that. It's just about you hear about coaches and you hear people saying the speed of the game. It's just about learning the speed of the game and watching and just learning. It's not about who the quarterback is that's trying to teach them something. It's about just going out there and just learning the speed of the game because it's so much different in college. You know what I mean? It's wide open in college is 10 fucking yards. You know, wide open in the NFL is like fucking 2 inches. You know what I mean? And it's just about the speed of the game that they got to learn that. And I just think that.
And Woody, we had Dalton. We signed Dalton. We had Dalton for a year. And Dalton's was not a trash quarterback. He was still a very comparable, well-respected NFL quarterback who could have taught Fields a lot more than he did had we played him.
He would have been a one to learn behind.
The injury happened. He got hurt. So, okay, fine. You throw Justin for a game or two. But the second Dalton was healthy, Dalton should have been starting again, but that didn't happen.
Dalton would have been a great one for him to learn behind. That's for sure. Dalton was he wasn't a great quarterback, but he was fucking dude. He was pretty good. You know what I mean? He was pretty good. He wasn't great, but he was good.
It's just drafting an Ohio State quarterback. Period.
Yeah, they've never not one have ever panned out. Not one.
So, I was like, oh my God, here we go. So.
And I'm not saying the Utah State guys are fucking out there burning down their
look at Tyson. He's from Shepherd University, and he's now our backup quarterback. And like I said, by week 8 or 9, if it's the record is not where it's supposed to, throw him in there, see what he can do.
Yeah, right. I mean, the thing about it is this, right? Like when they made the switch to Trubisky, right? Were you guys in any better shape with Mike Glennon in there than you were with Trubisky? You had the same personnel that was around Glennon. Glennon was playing so bad. What made the coach and the GM and the team think that Trubisky was going to come in there and be some fucking savior for him? I mean, you're going to lose anyway. So why don't you just lose with him on the bench, get another high draft pick, and draft some fucking talent? Oh, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that's the road you should do, but the Detroit Lions are doing a pretty good fucking job at doing exactly that.
I agree.
Hey guys,
I agree
let
with.
me throw this
I
one
agree
up
with
here. This is kind of long, but this is a good comment here. It's a long comment by Mike, but he's not wrong.
And don't get me wrong with Fields. You know, he's going to keep listening to the fans and the comments and the media people saying he's not good. I don't give a shit how much of a professional you are. You hear that shit, and that shit fucking stings. And I'm telling you right now that fucking it gets in your goddamn head. It gets in your head, and it affects the players. It does. You know, not that I'm saying I am a player, But you can't tell me that it doesn't affect the fucking guy in the back of his head thinking about all that shit.
Rick, I agree with you about Trubinsky because he should have sat behind somebody for a year because A, you drafted him from a basketball school, and B, he only started 12 games in his college career. How the hell do you think a college guy like that is going to come into the pros and rip it up?
Right? And Jordan Love played fucking 3 years at Utah or 4 years at Utah State, and he still sat for 3 damn years. And
Right.
he's just now ready. He's just now ready to take over.
Right.
Mark, this
He
is a great
said Trubisky
comment.
played 12 games. 12 games.
Yep.
This is a great comment from Mark. I mean, because he's talked about this in so look at Mark's comments here, right? His comment he's going to make here is they screwed him basically by overcoaching him, right? With his footwork is what he's talking about. Can't get the show, right? And he's basically saying they've overcoached him. Look, it feels – I don't know why some of these NFL coaches feel the need to do this. Like Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw the ball the way the textbook quarterback should. Neither did Brady. Neither did Favre. Neither did Vic. All were very successful. Why do these coaches feel the need? You must throw it like it says here in the textbook. See, this is how you should throw the ball. They did it to Trubisky. They're doing it to Fields, and that's how they ruin these kids.
Ken, that's a great comment because I've watched that because I've watched Jordan Love watch his footwork. He's doing the exact same thing as Rodgers and Favre. He's throwing balls when his feet aren't even touching the fucking ground, and they're right on target. That's the stuff about the learning that I'm talking about that Trubisky should have done and Justin Fields should have done. Just learn. That's how you learn, by watching and just watching what great other quarterbacks do, Look at Mahomes. I can't remember the last time he fucking threw a ball with his feet on the ground, for God's sakes.
I was just going to say that. Look at Mahomes, who might be the benchmark right now, right? Does Mahomes do anything like a quarterback is supposed to? No. So why not just say, hey, Justin, here are the plays. Great. And just let them play. These guys, when they play backyard football, that's when they play their best, isn't it?
At some
So
time,
why are we trying to
at some point, the coaches just gotta let them fucking be themselves. They got to their position where they're at by being themselves. You know what I mean? Just let him be what he's gonna be.
So do you think it's going to change that he came out today and blamed all the coaches? What do you think the coaches are going to do on Sunday? Let him play?
But see, what I saw, what read Woody about that is that he come out and they took it out, missed out of context, and he came back. He would never blame the coaches. He would never blame his teammates. I take all the blame. So you don't know which is the truth. Is he backtracking, or did he really say what he meant, what he said before? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what though?
And
He's not
also,
wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's not wrong. As a player, you don't throw out your the people that the coaches and stuff. You just no matter if you think they're wrong or right, you still just can't do that. It's just something you just don't do.
Hey, go ahead, Dub.
Yeah. And I was about to say what you guys said. It goes back to the comment I made before that I personally felt was a thing for y'all. Like one of the reasons some QBs don't pan out accordingly is that you force them to be something that they're not. Like that's what I'm thinking happened with Trubisky, and I'm thinking that's what might be happening with Justin Fields. Like you force certain things out of them that's not there.
Well, like I said about Trubinsky before, he played pretty good just throwing into the role until he injured his shoulder. Then he started getting a vagina and he just stopped playing. He wasn't mobile anymore. Like I said, that game against Tampa, he had five touchdowns, 6 touchdown passes. He got hurt, and then he was just afraid to run the ball, and then he just took a shit from there.
I think this will sum this whole discussion about coaching up. And Trubisky is a great example in how I can wrap this up. When you looked at the final 2 years Trubisky was in Chicago and the Bears were primarily terrible. When they were calling plays, the coaches were calling plays and they resigned. However, when it was in a hurry-up offense where Trubisky he had control and he could move the team and just play, what happened every time? Completion percentages were up, the team moved, he put them in position for a field goal or got him a touchdown or something. He got positive, right? The Bears offense went positive when Trubisky could just beat Trubisky. When they were coaching Trubisky on this is the play you must run, and here's how you must run it, that's when the wheels fell off. And that I think we're seeing that now with Justin Fields.
Well, see, I think about the Fields too. I think it's damn right more than Fields in the play calling, because if you see these wide receivers, how wide open they are, and he's not hitting them, it's not all the play calling. It's more Fields. He's the more to blame than the play calling.
Mike said before about, Justin Fields, that there was wide open guys that he just wasn't seeing them and shit like that. And he's 3 years into, or is this year 4 or 3 for him?
Year 3.
This is three.
This is year 3, so he's going into year 3. Got a lot of starts, and if he can't see guys that are right in front of him, that's another thing. He's listening to the media and saying that he's not good. So these young buck quarterbacks, right? They've seen these fucking legends come out, and these legends come out and they see what they're doing. The fucking Rodgers and Mahomes and all these trick shit, these no look passes. They see all this shit, right? They want to be the man. They want to come in and be the man. They want to do that shit, right? So they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing because they're trying to be a stud. They're trying to get the fucking top fucking 10 fucking play if you want to be number 1. So instead of fucking giving what the defense is giving you, like Justin Fields hasn't been doing, he's going for the fucking long bomb or trying to do this or trying to do that. And then that's where, players get frustrated. The fucking fans get frustrated because he's not giving what the defense. Justin Fields needs just to chill out, drop back, take what the defense is giving you. If that means a fucking 5-yard pass, but guess what? That's 5 yards closer to a fucking first down. It's simple as that.
Yeah, I think part of that, though, is too, though. I think, I saw a couple comments in different articles throughout the day that, a lot of people are feeling that Fields is basically playing not to make a mistake. And in doing so is making mistakes.
Exactly. That's just like fucking playing not to get hurt, and then you're going to get hurt. That's just the way you can't play. They got to let him be him. He's got a world of talent. I'm not going to sit here and bash Fields. He has a fucking world of talent. He does. So did Trubisky. Trubisky had a great arm. He had, I know I'm, pinpointing fucking, Bears quarterbacks, but, I believe that they just give up on players too soon. The Detroit Lions, another one, they gave up on. Just because Swift was injured all the time, I believe that they gave up on him too soon. Now look at the Eagles got him for a 4th-round pick, and look at the fucking benefits they're reaping of freaking, Swift now. It's just like
it just reminds me of Lamar Jackson his first year. He was getting hammered.
Yeah,
and they all said, "Hey, he better start throwing the ball. He's not going to last 2-3 years more." And look at that second year. He was throwing that ball, hitting. He had Hollywood Brown then, but he was throwing the gunning down the field, and you led him right to the playoffs. And
ended up MVP award. Didn't they go?
Yep.
They went to the. They didn't win it, but they went to the Super Bowl, didn't they? Or did they not make it there? They went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the takeaways that I can say
the Ravens. No, they hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah, there's some positivity. The balls he threw to DJ Moore last week, and the balls he threw to Claypool, one being a touchdown, you would think would have to build some confidence in Justin Fields so that maybe he's willing to throw them out. The interception, that was just the stupidest fucking play call ever. I don't even think Fields could see over the line at that point. It was like, okay, it's designed that there should be a guy there, and he let it go, and it looked stupid from jump. But that does more to hurt your quarterback, I think, than help. So it wasn't all negative. I just think they need to let Fields be Fields and stop trying to, you need to throw this way, you need to throw that way. You know what? Honestly, for Green Bay, same thing for Jordan Love. Let Jordan Love be Jordan Love. Like, you had 3 years behind Rodgers. Don't try to change him. You had him there. You did the right thing by drafting when you did. Let him sit for 3 years and learn. And like Jason, get the speed of the game and everything else. Let him make mistakes. He's gonna make them. And let him know it's okay that he makes mistakes because we don't expect you.
Gotta let him know it's okay to make mistakes. He missed a wide open fucking dubs on that freaking last drive last week. I didn't give a shit. He's gonna fucking make bad throws. Rodgers makes bad throws. Mahomes makes everybody makes fucking bad throws. Everybody does.
Well, I know what Fields is thinking about this week going into Kansas City, the Super Bowl champs. Oh shit, we're 3 offensive linemen down, injuries.
Well, the Packers could be 2. The Packers are down 2.
I guarantee he's not going to go in there with confidence. I'll tell you that right now. No fucking way.
And
That's what he's thinking.
That's his problem. That's his fucking ego then, because he shouldn't be thinking about fucking that woe is me shit. I'm down 2. Jordan Love is without 2 all-pro fucking offensive linemen, and he ain't shaking a stick at that shit. It's next guy up. I don't know what kind of depth you guys have at the position. I don't know.
We have hey Rick, we have your boy Lucas Patrick.
Yeah, how's that working out for you? Why do you think he's still not a fucking Packer? Because he's worthless.
Oh. Yeah,
but
and also,
no, go ahead, Doug.
Sorry, and also you had to mention Jordan Love was producing without his top receiver out there too. Like he didn't have Jones or Christian Watson, and he could still throw touchdown passes out there.
And for the week one against Chicago, Dobbs wasn't 100% either. And look, he had 2 touchdown passes or 2 touchdown catches.
He had 3.
Oh, yeah, 3 that first week?
Yeah, there's only 4 players in the history of the NFL has thrown 6 touchdowns and no interceptions in the history of the game, and it's Peyton Manning. I want to say Tom Brady.
No, I mean Dobbs had 2 touchdown passes.
Dobbs had 2 touchdowns. I thought you meant
he wasn't 100%.
Right.
Even though Eddie Jackson can't cover the fucking middle of the field.
And at the end of the day, this is going back to, I hate to fucking, this is a Bear show. I don't want to bash on fucking Fields, but at the end of the day, Fields has got every offensive weapon a guy could want as a quarterback. I mean, you're talking DJ Moore, Claypool. He had a great first year. He was, he's still got a talented wide receiver, and then you got Mooney, who's a talented wide receiver. Fields has literally, and he's got a Rashawn, who I think Rashawn Johnson was your best pick that you guys got. I think that guy's going to be a fucking stud. I really do.
I picked that right.
I think he's going to be a very good player for y'all. I just think that with the offensive talent that you guys have around Justin Fields, and he's still making the same mistakes he has in the past, I just don't know if it's ever going to click for him there with that. Maybe with a different coaching staff. I don't know. But I don't want you guys to give up on him too soon, because I like I said before, teams give up on players too fucking soon. But look at Zach Wilson. The Jets didn't cut Zach Wilson after getting Rodgers, did they? Because why? Because he's a young quarterback, right? He's got the fucking ego check that he had when he first came in. He thought he was the second coming of Christ. This is an ego check for him. Rodgers got hurt, but he was willing to take up that backup role and learn behind fucking Rodgers. Why can't the Bears fucking bench Justin Fields and bring in a veteran quarterback? I'm not saying there's another one out there like fucking Rodgers that could bring in there or whatever. But, to sit and to learn, I don't know. I don't know.
But to give up on Fields so soon, this is his 3rd year. He only has 5 wins. Think about it.
The Zach Wilson, and they didn't get drafted in the same draft, did they? Zach Wilson.
And you know what? Sorry.
Wait a second. Was
Wilson? We're coming up on an hour 20 here. I want to get some house.
I think he was.
I
think he was.
We're giving away some signed Bears merch this year. Go to the Mike the Bear fan. Like the page, become a top follower, top fan. Every month we're giving something away. We just gave away a signed rookie card last week for last month, so make sure you go do that. Also, don't forget Halas Hall Report every week right here at 7:30 Central, and every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Central for pregame. And then for most part, every week we will. That's what we gave away last week.
I get that because I picked the right score and team on Sunday.
Yeah, no, you don't, because we already had a winner, and the card should be in the mail, right, Mike?
27-17 Buccaneers.
Well, I mean,
do the Bears? How much cap space do the Bears have next year?
And then also, let's not forget every weekday, NFC North main event football talk, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. That's 10 Central for all those people in the regular time zone, and that's every week. And they're talking all football every Monday night at 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern is an open mic night. By the main event. We've had a good conversation here. We're going to have to see what happens with the quarterback situation here in Chicago, with how this team reacts coming forward. We'll do our game predictions on Sunday. Also with the predictions for Sunday's game, if you go to Mike the Bear fan on the page, There'll be a post up. You put the score in. If you get the score, you win. Mike, did we have a winner last week?
I did.
You didn't comment on my page. I said
The
you
fuck
gotta comment on my page.
I didn't, buddy. I'll
I'll
prove
go,
it.
I'll go back and look. If so, we'll present it next Wednesday.
There we
I'll
go.
prove it
If
to
he
you.
had it, then but
Wait,
you must
actually-
post on the page on that
See, Mike,
on the
I
post that
got
we
you.
put up there on the Mike the Bear fan to win that merchandise. This is gonna wrap it and do it up for us. I'd like to thank our guests from the Packer Nation and from the One Pride folks there coming on to talk with us tonight, as well to Sam, Dan, Woody, and of course Mike. We'll see you guys all Sunday. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Bear down.
See you later.
Figure it out.
One last thing, Woody, you're right. You posted it as Mike the Bear fan, but Woody style. I do remember as you say that. But see everybody Sunday.
He was able to read the defense. He was able to call like little small audibles.
His throwing is much improved over the season.
I'm over here in the south side of Chicago, 35th and Damon, doing my veterans tailgate today, baby. This is all about the veterans.
Defensive line's got to get better.
We got a good tight end. That's all you got to do is play to the kid's strength.
Bears 24-21.
Offense looked good.
Glad for everybody to make it. Bear down, and hopefully I'll see every